Hey, welcome back to Beard Squared. On this channel, we simplify educational tech using the iPad. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can send digital feedback to students using Google Classroom. So stick with me to the end, because in this comprehensive detailed review, I'm going to show you how you can use any PC, Mac, or desktop using a web browser to provide digital feedback for your students. And in part two, how advantageous it is to use an iPad with an Apple Pencil to provide handwritten feedback. So without any further ado, let's just jump into Safari here. We're going to use the web browser. We're not using the app at the moment. And go ahead to the app expose or the app grid and go into your Google Classroom. Here we go. I'm going to jump into my Google Classroom here. So go ahead and select the class that you're going to provide feedback to. I'm going to go to YouTube tutorials here, and then under my classwork tab, I'm going to show you 3 different examples. One which is an actual an assignment that I've sent out to students, and they provided a Google Doc. And this assignment, I'm going to go ahead and click on it. So it's academic awards. Let me go ahead and view this assignment. So in this assignment, there's a rubric attached to it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that there's a rubric, so I can give not only feedback, but I can provide a grade to my students so that they can see in terms of their success criteria where they've paced themselves. Now that's a separate topic anyway. There's a separate video where I can show you how to create rubrics for assignments, but let's move away from that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and look at the student work, and here a student has turned in her work. So I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to go ahead and check that report. So I'm going to click on this report. It's going to load up the student's report. Now, because this is a Google Doc, it's going to allow me to review this document and make changes if I really wanted to. So depending on your assignment, maybe this is a draft, a first draft or a second draft. Maybe this is the final assignment and you're grading it, as a final assignment. What can we do? So first thing first, if I'm just going through this document, and I'm grading this document and I want to provide feedback, one way I can provide feedback is by highlighting text here and then going on this add a comment. So I can add a comment here. And remember, this is not specific to an iPad. This is generic on any web browser. So I could provide feedback, and I could say, I don't know, instead of using range, consider the IQR, the interquartile range. And I could go ahead and provide that feedback. Once I say comment, it registers that feedback. Now, here's another thing. What if there were several participants, collaborators on this document, and it was a group assessment, and you want to give feedback to a specific person in this group? So what you can do then, sticking with the same theme of providing the comments, what we can do is this. So let's go ahead and find something. Let's just say, I don't know, this question 7, and I want to highlight this, and then click on comments. Now this time, what I can do is I can use the @ sign and provide feedback to a specific member in this group. So here you can see that I'm providing feedback to Beard Squared, And I can write here my comment. I can say, draw a graph including a box and whisker plot. Now if I click on this, assign to Beard Squared, this will notify him directly or her directly in her inbox as to a pending task. So there is something that they need to go ahead and complete. So I'm going to go ahead and sign that. So I could go ahead and go through the whole document and provide comments like that. So that's one way of doing it. What else can I do to provide digital feedback? Now since this particular assignment has a rubric attached to it, I can go ahead and after I've reviewed the whole document and I'm happy with it, I can provide feedback via the rubric. So I could go here and say, hey, you know what? That's a 6 out of an 8. This is going to be, I think, not an 8 out of 8, it's a 7 out of 8. So I can actually double click on this and change the actual grade here, because what Google Classroom does when you add a rubric, it's going to do it in twos. So the way I've added this rubric, it's 0 points and then 2 points, 4 points, 6 points, and then 8 points. So if in this particular rubric here, the student didn't get a full 8, nor did they get a 6, they got a 7, I can double click here and change that to a 7 like that. Now, that's not really meaningful feedback unless the student knows what that rubric indicates. And then I can provide a private comment for more meaningful feedback. For criterion D, this is the comment that's sort of attached to that 7 out of 8, So there's 3 ways that I've shown you how to provide feedback. One is using the comments, and within the comments, you can do an @ to assign a comment for a specific member of the team, okay, or other collaborators. You can use a rubric and just click on a rubric to give them a point score, and then you can give them a private comment. So most of you are familiar with giving feedback via comments, okay? Because if you're collaborating using the Google Suite, that's generally what we do when we collaborate on a document. We'll give some feedback via the comments. What if it's a PDF? How are you supposed to give feedback then? Because you can't just highlight the text and add a comment. So let me show you an example on how to do that. So let's review the student's work. Here's a student, they've submitted their work and it looks like this. They've basically done their work on their copybook and they've taken a snap of it using their phone, okay, and they've uploaded it to this assignment. So how can I give feedback here? Well, actually, I can give comments here. I can also give comments here. So how do I provide a comment? I can go over here and it says add a comment, and then it's instructing me highlight the area that you want to comment on. So I could go ahead and highlight this section and then provide my comment, and I can say, hey, well done, good use of diagrams. Like that, okay? And I could go ahead and comment. So that's my comment done. That's great. This is a PDF, remember, and I've highlighted and I've given comments here. And the student will get this back looking at the highlight box and associated comment, and they can go ahead and resolve those comments as well, okay? So they can go ahead and click on resolve and give a reply. This particular assignment by default gives a point score out of 100. Okay, so I can go ahead and say, oh, this is 90 out of 100 or 100 out of 100 or whatever point score I'm giving it, whatever grade I'm giving it. You can click on the three dots and change the total points. Okay, I'm just going to leave it by the default of 100. So 90 out of 100 isn't really meaningful. It doesn't provide any critical feedback for the student. It's good to provide a private comment. So what do I mean by 90 out of 100? Because it's more important to provide written feedback, personal feedback on an assignment so students know where they are, where they need to go, and what they need to do. So here I could just say my EBI that I'm going to set is whatever that target may be, okay? I'm going to show you now how advantageous it is to use an iPad and an Apple Pencil to provide digital feedback. Okay, struggling to get this pencil out. I'm going to show you how to use an Apple Pencil to provide digital feedback. Now, for this to happen, you're going to have to download the app, the Google Classroom app. Okay, so let's go ahead and type in Classroom here and go ahead and download Classroom. So go ahead and click on Classroom. It's going to tell you to sign in, choose your account, and of course, you're going to choose the same account that you were dealing with online. So let's go ahead and sign in, allow notifications, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and find that classroom that you were providing feedback to your students. So I'm going to go ahead here and click on that YouTube tutorials assignment and then choose that assignment under classwork. Okay, so we'll pick up where we left off. We'll go back to that length and perimeter assignment, okay, and go ahead and see that student's work. So let's click on it. This time we're going to provide feedback, but we're going to provide written feedback using an Apple Pencil. So here you can see there's a little pencil icon. If I click on that pencil icon, it's going to open up the document, okay, where I can now provide written annotated work. So you'll get this little toolbar at the end. You can go ahead and change your color. You can select different colors if you want. I'm just going to stick with red for now. And I'm going to increase the size. Actually, I don't like to go with that pen. I prefer the felt tip because it gives me a better sort of line here. And you can always go and press back and it will undo what you've done. So let's go ahead and use this. I think, yeah, I like that. So I'm going to do undo, undo. Here we go. Now we can provide written feedback here. And this is really quite meaningful because it's personalized using your own handwriting, okay? Now, as long as your handwriting is legible, unlike mine, students may prefer that you give them written feedback. So here again, I can go ahead and say, hey, you know what? That is great use of diagrams, okay? I could go ahead and indicate something really specific. So I can pinch in here. I can highlight something really clearly, okay? And I can say, what does this mean? Change this to purple, and then I can write here, okay, what does this indicate? So that ink is a bit thick, so what I can do is I can use the eraser tool, okay, and I can just erase this off just like that, and I can rewrite that using a more appropriate ink, okay? So I'll go here, change the ink size, and then I can write, okay, what does, yeah, that's much better, okay? What does this indicate? Okay, so you can provide feedback, written feedback to students. That's using a PDF. Now, I'm going to show you something here, yeah? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save that. Maybe I'm gone for a coffee break now. I don't want to continue with that feedback. I'm going to carry on once I've come back from a break. So I can go ahead and save that. That will save my annotations on this PDF. So here you can see I've got an annotated copy of that PDF. If I click on that, it will show you the annotations that I've done. Now, what I can do, I can continue to edit this document, okay, and I can add more annotations. So if I press on the little pencil button, it's going to open up that same document and it's going to allow me to add more annotations to this document, so I can provide more feedback to the students. Now, bearing in mind, you can't change annotations that you've already made, okay, because they are now embedded into that PDF. They are flattened in that PDF and you can't erase or make any amendments to those annotations that you've made. So bear that in mind. So I can go ahead and provide more written feedback, okay, on this document. Maybe I want to highlight something, so I can go ahead and highlight something here, and then I can write down some more feedback here. Okay, so great, well done, whatever the case may be. Now, when I go ahead and I save that, it doesn't make like several iterations of that PDF. It's just going to make one edited file where the students can go ahead and see all the annotations that I've done for them to review. Okay, all the feedback that I'm going to provide them. Let me go ahead and show you that. Okay, in fact, let me attach this keyboard again. So I've just got a trackpad and I can show you. So here, there is only one edited file that is created. Okay, any additional amendments that you want to make or any additional annotations that you want to provide your students, it will only create one copy of that file. So it keeps you well organized. Okay, so let me go back to the assignment where the students submitted a Google Doc, okay, and it was under here. And let me go back to that report. What you can do is you can provide a combination of feedback. So you could do those comments that you done earlier on, okay, that you saw on the web that we provided those comments. And you can also annotate on the document as well. So this is the Google Doc that we had from before. So if I click on here, you can see that I've got the pencil button. I can click on that pencil button, okay? And now I can provide some written, handwritten, personalized feedback. This is great because when you're getting into, you know, I'm looking at the diagrams, the charts, and I want to make some really critical, fine-tuned feedback. I can do that here, okay? Now, this is a multiple page document, so I need to scrub through the document using these arrows, okay? So if I go to the arrows and I want to select a specific page, and I can provide feedback here. And remember, I can pinch to zoom. Even though this is a doc, I can pinch to zoom and I can provide my written feedback, okay? So here we go. I'm going to highlight something here, and I'm going to say maximum is further out, okay, and it's indicated over here at 92, okay? So consider max at 92, okay? So I can really fine tune my feedback using the Apple Pencil, okay, because it allows me to do annotated feedback like this. The advantage of using an iPad is that you can give personalized written feedback. If you found that helpful, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more EdTech tutorials. Turn on notifications, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.